Hi, everyone. This is Michele Graglia.
This is Marianne Hogan.
Hi, I'm Adrian McDonald.
I'm Katie Asmith.
Hi, this is Anthony Gasals.
Hi, my name is Meg Morgan.
Hey, it's Jordan Troth.
This is John Ray.
This is Ryan Van Duzer, and you are listening to the Gotta Run Racing Podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, we're back with another Gotta Run podcast.
I'm Jody.
And I'm Norm, your host.
And I'm wearing this year's Rainbow Trail Run shirt.
Wow, looks nice.
What do you think? What do you think? And last year's Rainbow Trail hat.
Okay, very good.
And I wouldn't be wearing this if we were still using a green screen. Why, Norm?
Why? Because it'll all disappear.
I've been dying to wear this hat since we started podcasting.
No, you did wear it. I
wore it once, but it did screw up the video, didn't it?
Well, it changed the color of the hat.
Yes. So anyways, now we can wear green again. Yay!
Woohoo.
Green is the color because it matches your eyes.
Whoa! Not bloodshot like usual?
I didn't know what color your eyes were until what?
Until I told you.
Year 2?
Until I told you.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, Rainbow Trail Run is next weekend, guys.
Let's go.
Let's do it. 3rd annual. Gonna be fun.
Gonna be fun. Do 12K loops as many times you like.
Well, not quite as many as you like, but you can go 1, 2,
4,
4, 5,
6.
Not 6.
Oh. Okay. Well, you can if you want.
1, 2, 4, or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which direction we're gonna go?
After that, you're on your own.
Which direction we're gonna go? We have no idea.
Well, we're going to do the same direction as last year.
Okay.
Right?
Done.
Excellent.
Who is on the podcast today?
Today we have Canadian ultra runner Madeline Wighardt, a.k.a. Maddie. She is from just down the road in Ancaster, where our friends from Sulphur Springs are.
Nice.
Yes, she's a student of chemical engineering at McMaster University. She's pretty new to the sport, but she's already racked up some pretty impressive finishes. Second at Quebec Mega Trail 100K in 2022.
Wow, not easy.
Not easy. Third at Leadville Trail 100 miler last year.
Wow. I know that race.
And she just recently finished the Western States 100 under 24 hours. Unbelievable.
Earning that silver buckle.
Yes. So we're going to talk to her about all of that and how she was able to get back to running after a fractured hip. Which is pretty wild.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
All right, here's Maddie coming up. Well, welcome, Maddie, to the podcast, and big congrats on your Western States finish.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Have you come down from that high yet?
Yeah, it took a while, and then it took my feet a few days to stop being so swollen. But yeah, feeling pretty normal now.
That's awesome.
Well, we're definitely going to get into Western States, but first we'd like to, if you could tell our listeners how you even started running.
Yeah, for sure. I've been running since I was like a little kid. My dad always used to take me around on like these little loops around our neighborhood, and we would always stop at Tim Hortons halfway through for chocolate milk when I was 5 years old, because you got to motivate a kid somehow. But so I've always been into running, and then I did cross country and track all through middle school, high school, but I was always pretty mediocre at it. It was always fun, but I wasn't very good. And then when I was in grade 12, I decided to sign up for Around the Bay, the 30K race in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And when I did that race, it was the longest run I'd ever done. And I was like, oh, I really like long distance running. This is what I'm actually probably better at. And then I took a break from all that, COVID, whatever. And then me and my dad kind of fell down that YouTube rabbit hole of watching ultra documentaries. And at first I was like, no, these are stupid. I would never do one of those in a million years. Why would anyone run that far? But then I was telling a running friend that I was interested in maybe doing an ultra. You should look up JFK 50 miler. And this was in 2021, I think. Okay. So there had been no races for a long time and like nothing to do. And then I looked it up. So then I think this was like July or August of 2021 when I first heard about JFK, and I'd been doing like some trail running just on my own. And then I just kind of randomly signed up for it on a whim. I had no idea how to train or what I was doing. I didn't have a coach. I just like been randomly running around in the Dundas Valley. I don't know what I was doing. And I was like, let's just see what happens. And then I did it, and it ended up being one of the best days of my life. And it was so much fun, and it hurt so much. And from there, I was just kind of obsessed with it. Yeah, so that's how I got into it.
That's amazing. So you were hooked. As soon as you tried that longer distance, that was it. You knew that was your niche.
Yeah, for sure.
Has your dad run any trail or ultra distance?
No, he's always been really into sports. He did a bit of running. The longest he ever did was around the bay, so 30K. Okay. But he always did road biking and kayaking, and he'd do really long kayak races and the gym and all that stuff. So always just been like an athletic guy.
Right. So is he taking the full credit for your achievements now?
I think he likes to take a little bit of it. He always comes to all my races and stuff, so he does deserve some of the credit for everything.
Aww, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you choose the JFK again? You just happened to see it online? Because that's a 50-miler, right?
Yeah. I was at a running club, and I was just running with someone, and they were like, you should look up JFK 50 mile. And then I went home and I Googled it, and that was it.
So forget the marathon.
No, I just skipped it. Yeah.
So you went 30 to 80. No big deal. No big deal.
Yeah.
That's the step up 50K.
Well, that is the mind of an ultra. So you had a mind of an ultra.
Yes, you do.
Before you even knew it.
Yeah.
Now, after JFK, you had some sort of accident. I read somewhere online where you broke your hip or something like that. Was that after JFK?
That was a year after. In between that, I did around the bay. I did a road marathon, and I did QMT 110K.
Nice.
And then it was November or October of 2022. It was 2 weeks before I was supposed to run JFK again. And I was just biking, and I fell off my bike and I broke my hip.
Wow.
So that kind of sucked.
Yeah. What was that recovery like?
I had surgery on it the next day. They put 3 giant screws just in my hip. And then I was on crutches for 6 weeks, and I couldn't run for 3 months afterwards.
What were the doctors saying about you getting back to running? Did they have any thoughts on that, or were they for it?
They were for it. The doctor I had, he was really good. He was like, yeah, you'll be back to running in 3 months. Everything will be good. Do your physio. There was a tiny worry that this one bone wouldn't get blood flow. And I don't know what would have happened if that didn't happen, but it would have been bad. And I choose to just ignore that. But I think because breaking your hip is typically an older person injury. So there's not many, like it's not an injury that,
easy now.
I'm being gentle with what I say. But it's typically not an injury that someone my age gets. So with the screws, it could heal nicely, and it wasn't hip replacement or any of that stuff. So
right.
The surgeons, he was like, yeah, you'll be good. Do your physio. Be careful the first 6 weeks. You'll be fine to get running. And I did a bit of swimming and spin biking and stuff after the 6 weeks, just to try and get fitness. But yeah, it was 3 months before I could run again.
Wow.
I think it's the same injury that Marianne Hogan had. Do you know who Marianne Hogan is?
Yeah. She had that too?
I think she had the same injury back.
Wow.
And then she came back and came third at Western and second at UTMB. So there you go.
Yeah. And I know that Krista Duchenne had a similar.
Yes.
She broke her femur or something, and then I think later that year
finished the race.
Finished the race, and then I think 8 months later or something, she was qualifying for the Olympics or something crazy. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you're in good company.
Yeah, exactly. I had some inspiration from people that I was like, okay, maybe I will be okay.
That's awesome. I'm sure that led you to more rabbit holes on YouTube for finding other races too. All that time off.
Yeah, I was very antsy and obsessed with getting back to running. Yeah, I signed up for the Leadville Marathon while I still couldn't run. I was just hoping that I'm sure I'll be fine, but yeah.
That's what I was going to bring up, the fact that we have that in common, that Leadville was my first 100-miler. I think it was yours as well.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was, yeah.
Mine, it was 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Leadville 100, first time 100-miler, yeah. So tell us, what made you choose this race, Leadville?
Again, it was a bunch of YouTube videos. And I don't know, I think it was just something about it being so high up and it being this small little old mining town that, again, it was me and my dad who always watched these videos. And we were just so obsessed with this race. I can't really describe exactly what it is, but I was just drawn into it. I have to do it. So I threw my name in the lottery, but didn't get picked. So I signed up for the Leadville Marathon. I was like, maybe I'll get a coin. And the whole point of going there was to get a coin. And luckily I did, even though the altitude almost killed me there. But
Hey everyone! We've been testing out a product that's new to us on our long runs lately called Caffeine Bullet. And we wanted to share this brand with you guys because it could be a real game changer. I'm training for my very first 24-hour race and I've never run through the night before, so I'm a bit nervous about it. The product is called Caffeine Bullet. It's out of the UK and it was created by David Hillard, host of the award-winning Bad Boy Running podcast.
Isn't he the announcer for Golden Trail series?
He sure is.
Oh.
All right, so they have a few different levels of caffeine chews. I'm just going to highlight a few for you today. They have the chocolate orange, which is 85 milligrams of caffeine, which is about the same as a cup of coffee. They have the mint tense energy chew, 100 milligrams per chew, which is the same as, let's call it an espresso. Then they also have one that I'm really excited to try. It's the Ginger Roars Vegan Chew. It's about 33 grams, same as about a third of a cup of coffee. But what's interesting is the ginger element, because sometimes you have issues with your stomach. And speaking of that, they're almost an instant energy boost because the caffeine is chewed in your mouth and it's absorbed quicker because it actually bypasses your stomach and it kicks in 3 times faster than gels.
Wow.
I know, right?
Sign me up.
Right? So it gives you that boost of energy exactly when you need it. They're also individually wrapped, which is great because you can store them in your vest or in your pocket and access them quickly when you need it. You can order them online. They ship from North American warehouses. And if you use our link, our Gotta Run podcast listeners will get 20% off.
Whoa.
Pretty good, right?
I like it.
We've posted the links in the show notes for your convenience. And hey, if you've tried them, let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, check it out.
Did you read Born to Run before you raced?
no, I actually haven't read it.
Oh,
I know
you should
that's
read
bad.
it. No, it's not bad, but you should read it because now you have a different perspective knowing all the things they mentioned in the book. It would be even more impressive, I think.
Actually, I do recommend the audio version of Born to Run.
Oh, yeah?
So on your next run, you can listen to the Born to Run audio version.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's very inspiring because they make you run faster because they
Oh, yeah.
because they actually in the book they talk about the actual race itself, so it makes you feel like you're there again.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
Wow.
So tell us about the first 20 hours of Leadville. How did it all go from? Well, it went from May Queen to Powerline to Hope Pass. Tell us about the first 20 hours.
I was obviously very scared and nervous because it was my first 100-miler. It was the first time I'd done anything this big and crazy. But I had a plan with my coach to start really, really slow.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, there are going to be people passing you left and right, especially on that first long, you're just running downhill on this big dirt road. It's really easy to go really fast and it would be fun. But she was like, no, just chill. Go really, really slow. And so I did. And there were people just passing me. And I was, this feels wrong, but I'm going to keep doing it. And my whole goal was to get to Twin Lakes inbound. So mile 62, feeling really good. So that I could actually pick it up, try to push the pace at the end and maybe pass some people. And so it was pretty like, I really didn't have many problems during Leadville. It was kind of like almost the ideal first 100-miler. You know, I had like little things here and there, but not really bad low moments. And then when I picked up my pacer at Twin Lakes coming in, we just started picking it up and started to pass people. And that's when it got really fun. The first 20 hours, maybe the first 15 hours were chill and good and everything was smooth. And then it started to hurt, but you know, it was pretty good.
And you followed your coach's direction, so I'm sure she was happy.
I did.
Who's your coach?
Addie Bracy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's lives in Colorado. She actually was my first pacer in Leadville last year, which was really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's
so she was
awesome.
also there to be like, good job on following my plan.
Now, I know that you came in third overall, but you're chasing the fourth, or what was going on between you and fourth woman? Because I know the time is just by 1 minute. What was happening there?
Really in the last 12 miles, I was running like as fast as I could, and I was passing a lot of people. I know that coming at the turnaround point at 50 miles at Winfield, I think I was in like 13th or 14th place female, because I like counted as people came back because it's an out and back. And then I think leaving May Queen coming in with 12 miles to go is maybe in like 6th or something. And then I passed a few more people. And then it was on the final stretch of road, as you can see the finish line. We saw a group of people running up just maybe 50 meters in front of us. And my pacer just turns to me and he goes, he's like, is she in the race? And then he runs up beside her, peeks around to see if she's wearing a bib. And then he comes back and he's like, she's in the race. And then we both just started like in this dead sprint to the finish line. Wow. I think we're 400 meters away when I moved into third.
Wow.
So it was like...
So that's on the road.
And it was on the very last little section. Like you could see the finish line. And I had no idea that I was that close to her. I didn't know what place I was in coming up to the finish line. I had no clue. So when I crossed the finish line, someone was, good job, you're third. And I was like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not. I'm probably in 6th or something. I don't know what's going on. And they were like, no, that was third. You just moved into third.
Wow.
So
amazing.
It was kind of like this crazy thing. And I wasn't keeping track enough because landing on the podium wasn't really something I had on my radar. For Leadville, my goal was to run sub 25. But really, my goal was to finish and have fun and see what happened because it's my first 100. So it was just a big surprise. And like, really, I did not expect that to happen. But it's kind of cool.
You smashed it, 23:32 and on the podium. Yeah. Was that your first time running through the night?
The longest time I had run before that was 18 hours.
Oh, okay.
At QMT. I think that race finished maybe at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
At night. So it was running in the night for a little bit, but this was... Yeah, certainly a lot longer through the night because I finished 3:30 in the morning.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, let's get to Western States. You were very fortunate to get in as a sponsored athlete for Stoked Oats. And as we found out from you, you actually work for them as well. When did you find out that you had a spot to the big show?
I think it was last September or October. They asked me they do this series, they call it the Breakfast With series, where they just talk kind of similar to what we're doing. They just talk with other athletes about what they're doing running. And I thought about the Western States spot because I had asked them to consider me the year before, but then I hurt myself and, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought about asking them again. And then we stopped the recording and they were like, so do you want the Western States spot? And I was, are you offering? Is it mine? Do I get this spot? And they're like, yeah, it's yours.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it. And then they're like, yeah, you're going to come and work for us in Calgary, train in Canmore over the summer. And it was just, I can't pass up that deal.
No.
So,
wow, what an opportunity.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Amazing.
Were you able to run part of the course before the race just to get to know it?
I got to do a little bit because I went down to Auburn early to acclimate to the heat because it's not crazy hot in Calgary usually. And I did a bit out of Forest Hill, did the climb into Michigan Bluff, saw a little bit of the last few miles of the course. I didn't get a chance to see too much of it, but it was good to still see what the Western States Trail is actually like and a few of the important parts.
Right.
So I ran a bit of it, but not too much.
So speaking of heat, did you develop a strategy on how to cope with the heat through the canyons when you did that prior training?
Yeah, I think the way I stayed cool during the race is probably one of the best things I did. I wore the white arm sleeves like a lot of people do, and at all the aid stations starting at, I think, mile 15, I was stuffing ice down them, and I had the ice bandana and just soaking myself in cold water at every single aid station, and it worked pretty well. I only really suffered with the heat on the descent into the El Dorado aid station, which is like mile 50-ish. Just because it was middle of the afternoon, blazing sun in the canyons.
Yeah.
But the volunteers at the aid stations there are so good that the second I came into that aid station, they were just dumping water on me, putting ice everywhere. So I think that, it was hot, but I think I managed it pretty well.
So just backtracking for a minute, because we want to ask you about the start line. But before that, was there any particular section that you were A, either really looking forward to or B, dreading?
I was a little worried about any of the big climbs in the canyons being so hot. I was in Auburn for 2 weeks before, and I really struggled in the heat for the first little bit. And I was kind of worried that maybe I wouldn't acclimate to it and that I would really be struggling, say, the climb up to Devil's Thumb, which is the steepest and kind of the worst climb of the race.
Yeah.
I was kind of afraid for that. And it did suck during the race. It was not very fun. So I was right to be worried about that. I was excited for the first climb up to the top of the escarpment.
Oh, yeah.
And especially that was awesome because when you get to the top, the last 50 meters is just lined with people along the side and they're all like cheering for you and ringing the cowbells and stuff. So that was really awesome.
Yeah.
And the view from up there is pretty sick too.
Yeah. And you didn't have to deal with snow this year, which was nice.
No, the conditions were like perfect this year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey guys, compression therapy is something most runners are familiar with, whether it be socks, sleeves, or recovery products, right, Norm?
You got it.
Compression plays a huge role in reducing swelling and inflammation, speeding up muscle recovery, preventing delayed onset muscle soreness, aka DOMS, and relieving muscle pain.
You guys are all runners. You know that.
We are very excited to be partnered with Air Relax Canada. In fact, we'll be offering free demos of their leg compression therapy at both Rainbow Trail Run and Island Lake Classic this year. So if you're signed up for either race, make sure you swing by the tent to try out their system. We'll have the 3.0 leg recovery system on hand. Not only that, but Air Relax is offering our listeners a 10% discount if you order using our link and coupon code, which will be posted in the show notes.
Check it out. So tell us about the start line. You're on the start line, you're looking around and you're seeing all these amazing athletes all around you. What was going through your mind on the start line?
I was very intimidated, to be honest. There are a lot of fast people, and you always try to be like, I'm just going to run my own race. I don't care what other people are doing. I'm not going to compete, but obviously you're going to compare yourself to other people. And, you know, I was pretty scared and I wanted to obviously do well. And then when the gun went off, I didn't feel as good as I thought I would. And, you know, I was pretty far back. I was struggling a bit. So the beginning of the race was very difficult for me, a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
When did you start settling into a nice pace?
Never. I would say never. I think it felt bad the entire race.
No.
I think maybe the altitude, I struggled a little bit with that. And then running through the high country part, it's pretty rocky, and like the second half of the course is not technical at all, but the part when you're up high, it's a little bit technical. And for some reason, I was tripping on the rocks and stubbing my toes everywhere. And it literally felt like I had never run on a trail in my life. I was like, this is so embarrassing. What is happening? So I couldn't get into a good rhythm there because I kept tripping and bashed up my toes. And then that was a bit of a mess. And I was just really struggling. And then the mental part of it got me down because I wasn't used to feeling so bad so early.
Right.
People always say there's highs and lows and you will come out of the low to reach the high. But in the moment, I was like, I don't buy it. I'm never coming out of this. This is awful. I don't know what's going on. And it kind of lasted until Michigan Bluff, which is mile 55.
Oh, that's a long time.
Of feeling bad. I had one good 7-mile segment coming out of, what's the mile 38? I think it's Dusty Corners.
Yeah.
Because I had my crew, Adam and Rob, there, who are friends with the Stoked Oats people that came out to help, and they kind of pulled me out of dark place, you know, just with some good pep talks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had a fun flowy section for a bit and then felt terrible again. But it was nice to feel good for like an hour. That was fun. But yeah, didn't really start feeling more positive. My body felt terrible the whole time, but mentally started to feel a bit better at Michigan Bluff because that's where my parents were there crewing. I sat down that was the only place I sat down for like a few minutes, changed my shoes, ate some food, and yeah, kind of pulled out of it there. But
just in time to get to Forest Hill, where the crowds are pretty spectacular, right?
Yeah, Forest Hill was my favorite aid station for sure, because my parents were there, plus all of the Stoked Oats crew was there, and I got to pick up my first pacer, Simon. And yeah, that was pretty awesome. And once I got there, you're kind of like, okay, I can make it to the end now.
Yep.
Even though it's still 38 miles, it feels like the home stretch. You're like, hey, no matter what, I'm going to get there. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it got better from there, I think.
Simon's the founder of Stoked Oats, right?
He is, yeah, founder and CEO. So it was really cool to have him pace me. He did Forest Hill to Rucky Chucky.
Nice.
And then I picked up my other pacer, Dylan, who lives in Auburn, from Rucky Chucky to the finish.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure Simon said, you're only getting into this sponsored spot if you let me pace you, right?
He actually didn't. I asked him a bunch of times to pace. No, but he was great. It was good.
Cool. So, Rucky Chucky to the finish line, and you finally reached the track after this incredible day. Did you slow down and soak it all in?
No, I sped up. I wanted to run faster on the track. There was nobody in front or behind me. I wasn't going to catch anyone. But I tried to run fast. It was probably really slow, but it felt fast. But it was pretty awesome. You know, you always see the pictures and videos, and for months leading up to this race, I just envisioned running around that track and what it would feel like. And it was awesome. And then to get to the finish line and everyone's there. Yeah, it's pretty special.
Yeah.
Running around that track is pretty special.
That
Sure is. Norm did it in 2022.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
we just watched his video again because we couldn't make it down this year. So we wanted to get some more memories from the day.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty special. So what's your takeaway from Western and your second 100 miler? What's the big takeaways?
Really that I need to stop putting the pressure on myself to run so fast and do better, because in ultras, you really never know what's going to happen on the day. You can do the best training in the world and be so fit and so ready and taper perfectly, and then show up and have a terrible day and not know why.
Yeah.
And I went into the race with such high expectations and being like, you need to crush it. You got this spot. Everyone's come down for you. I felt it was not pressure from other people, pressure from myself.
Yeah.
And when I felt bad a lot of the race, I was really mad at myself. I was like, oh, you suck. Why? You didn't deserve this spot. You need to do better. Why are you doing so bad? And obviously that doesn't help. That you're not going to run well if you think that way.
Yeah.
So my biggest takeaway is just to work on the mental side of it. And even though it sucks to have like a race where you didn't run as fast as you wanted to, or you probably physically could at Western States, at such a big race, I think I learned a lot from it that will really help in all of my future races. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, for me, it took me 7 years to get to Western.
Oh, yeah.
And it was not my best performance either. But that was the day, and I have to take it. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. I'm like, this is my day. And I think my perspective on the day shifted when someone was, oh, you're right on 24-hour pace. Okay, that's the new goal now.
That's right.
Yes.
We're not hitting the A goal. That's out the window. Like, I can't do that anymore. But I can fight as hard as I can to get under 24 hours.
Yeah.
And that was the day I had.
There you go.
It's a great attitude.
And it was
Maddie.
still really cool.
Yeah.
It's a great attitude.
Absolutely.
You always have to shift your expectations. Otherwise, you're going to always be disappointed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right? So would you go back to Western?
Oh, yeah.
Silly question.
Yeah. 2 days after, I was like looking up how to get back to Western States, trying to figure out how to get fast enough to get a golden ticket. Yeah. No, I got to go back. That can't be the end of
it.
Now, having done Leadville and Western, there are some other majors that go along with those races. I don't know if you know of Old Dominion, Vermont, Wasatch. Those are the majors.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Are those now on your list of things to do to get all of them, or no?
I got some other ones going back to Leadville in 5 weeks. But
okay,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, trying it again. Really want to do UTMB one day. I want to do a bunch of the Colorado ones, Run Rabbit and stuff. I really like Colorado.
Yeah. What about some Canadian ones like the Death Race or Squamish 50-50?
Yeah, I'd like to try the Death Race one day too. I have a huge list of ones I want to do. It's too bad you can only do like a few every year.
Well, you're young and hopefully you're stay injury free. You've got lots of time, right?
Yeah. Yep, lots of time.
That's amazing.
Well, all the best at Leadville. I wish I could get back to Leadville one day, but it would take me too long. And I left Leadville in the past. That's 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty special race for sure. But maybe you should read Born to Run now.
Yes.
I really should. Yeah, before going back.
As you're running Leadville in the race, put the audio version. Put the audio version on.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
All right. Well, before we let you go, we like to do some rapid fire questions just for fun. Okay. So just first thing that comes to mind. What's your favorite junk food?
Pizza.
To me, that's a food group on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree, actually.
Butter tarts with or without raisins?
Oh, with.
Thank you.
No.
We disagree on that.
Yes. No, I love raisins.
Name a TV show that you're embarrassed to say you watch.
What's it called? The Real Housewives?
Yes. Okay.
Of Beverly Hills?
Oh,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
That's your choice. Okay.
Whichever one was on Netflix. I watched that with Lisa Vanderpump.
I think that was Beverly. Or maybe New York. I don't know. We haven't watched that.
No,
one.
I haven't watched that one.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
No.
We know what you mean. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's another sport you'd like to excel in?
I mean, it'd be nice to be good at biking.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it, clearly.
Would you consider a triathlon?
How's your swimming?
No. I swam a lot when I hurt myself, but I wasn't very fast. I was very slow.
What's the last concert you went to?
Oh, boy. Arkells?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They're from Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right, Norm, your turn.
Pick a superpower that you'd like to have.
Flying.
Oh, yes. Of course.
That's a popular.
Yeah, obvious. Easy. It'd be fun.
Yeah, that's popular.
All right, Maddie. Well, thanks for sharing some time with us today, and congrats again on all your achievements so far, and all the best at Leadville.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks so much. It was great to talk to you guys.
Yeah,
All right.
you too. All the best.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
And that was Maddie Wighardt from Ancaster, Ontario, fresh off her Western States debut.
Wow. Nice silver buckle for the first year.
Amazing. And she, despite not having great race day, she kept her spirits up and finished in under 24 hours, which is absolutely amazing.
Well, that was the new goal during the race for her. The new goal.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, you gotta adapt. You don't know what you're gonna get on race day.
Well, she said it. No matter how good your training is.
Yeah,
You know?
you don't know what you're gonna get on a race day.
That's
So
right.
this is the day, and this is what you have to work with.
But she took it all in, and she's hopefully heading back there at some point. And we didn't know she was going back to Leadville, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna now watch that very closely.
Yeah, especially because now she knows what to expect, and she can attack it very differently if she wants to. See what her coach says.
I like all these young ultra runners are coming out of the woodworks
So amazing.
because
The average age for ultra running used to be in the 40s, right?
yeah, now it's 20s, and
Coming down.
early 30s.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, she's going to be a rising star for Canadian ultra woman.
You betcha.
Coming,
And you heard it here first.
yeah. All right.
Okay.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Bye.